For years now, four-wheel drivers all across Australia dream of going to those iconic off-road destinations. The Simpson Desert, Cape York, the Kimberley and the Victorian High Country, to name a few. For those who seek out the unheard of tracks, camps and sites, Australia has so much more to offer. From white sand tropical beaches to thick mud in the rainforest, we tackle some of the most epic places you've ever seen. Scored ourselves an all-time campsite tonight. Gumboots got left on the back of the car, lucky we spotted them there. It's actually a pretty slippery hill climb, this one, and there's some big soft ruts and holes through it all. Dad's up now. Looks like we're straight into the action anyway. Just come across this absolutely monster hill climb, so steep and rocky. Should be a bit of fun. I'm gonna put first gear low, put that locker in. It's gonna be about throttle control, I reckon, this one, because you don't want to go too slow, but if you go too fast, you're just gonna start spinning and bouncing and jerking wheels. Hold a little bit of momentum there. Try and stay out of those center lines a little bit where all the loose rocks are. Just hang on. That's steep.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we don't get up that.
Any chance of going from here? Right, I'm gonna have to back down and try that again. Dad and Kai were right up on that right hand line filming where I sort of wanted to be, so I decided to cross over the left, and that's what screwed me up, I reckon. Maybe anyway, maybe it's just too steep and rocky, but I'm gonna give that right hand line a go and see if that makes things any better for me. Maybe I just hold a little bit more momentum this time. Whoa, still bouncing, still going. Oh, get up, get up. Woo! Oh. That was about 4,000 revs there in first gear low, that rear locker in, just sending it up that hill. I'm sweating. That's a full-on hill climb, that is.
That's wild.
It's always so hard to tell on camera, but this hill is just about as steep as you can get, and it's just nothing but like loose, shaly rocks the whole way up. That was my car on the absolute limit there. That's one insane hill climb. It's quite a long way as well. You come up around this corner, it just gets steeper. There's Dad up there now trying to walk down. It's so hard to even walk down. You got that auto, and your car being a bit lighter may help on this.
Yeah.
Should be in for fun either way. That did it not too bad there. He's still like spinning and bouncing and that, but seemed to struggle a little bit less than mine. I don't know if it's that auto or that bit lighter car. So many nice little creek crossings out everywhere that you're crisscrossing back and forth through. Another beautiful one here now. And then looks like we got a fairly rutted out rocky exit up out of this one. I have driven this track before. The track earlier this morning I hadn't done, but this one I have. And I remember last time this was a bit slippery and you couldn't hold the line you wanted to. So see how I go. I got more flex this time, so I may do something. Yeah, I reckon that flex helps with that big time. Keep cruising along this track. It comes to a creek down here, not too far away I think, where we'll pull up and have some lunch and relax for a while. We're in Mile Lakes State Forest / National Park is where we've been yesterday and today. It's only maybe 15-ish kilometers west of Bulahdelah, like in a direct line, so it's not too far away, and there's heaps of tracks out here to explore, heaps of fun to be had. It's a awesome place. Found ourselves a beautiful spot out here in the bush on the edge of this creek. Nice little swimming hole there, may even swim at. We're going to pull up here and have a bit of lunch and soak it in. Navigating our way out of this forest now, heading west out of it via Blackgate Trail, I believe it's called. Drops us down off the mountain range and then heading over, hoping to get through to Stroud. So I've been on this one before, but I came up it into the forest after I'd sort of looped around. This time we're going to go, try and get straight out this way. See how we go. So if we come out of Stroud, then we're heading over to Chichester State Forest tonight behind Dundalk. late afternoon. We came through Dungog and out to Chichester State Forest. It's actually Barrington Tops National Park section where we are now, because the parks sort of border each other, but we're out here for a couple of nights, four-wheel driving and camping and exploring. But I want to check out this Jerusalem Creek Falls. There's the waterfall. Not much water on it, it's just check on down that big rock face there. Not much water under there, but a nice spot to cool down from the day before we head to camp. Made the camp, got a nice spot out here in the bush. Dad's just back there catching up. He's talking to that group over there. So there's one other group, and then sort of got this whole end of the campground to ourselves. This is Telagiri campground. We crossed the river over to Currawong, but there was a few more groups over there. It was a bit quieter here. There's a heap of nice, like, big open grassy camp areas out this Chichester State Forest. They're all state forest camps. They're all free. They've got bins, drop toilets at them. They're nice spots on these rivers that run through them. We got the river just down there. It is a really good area out here. There's lots of four-wheel drive tracks, which we haven't done any yet, but we'll take some on tomorrow. Get set up and get this fire going. Just gonna do a quick and easy dinner tonight, a tomatoey, beanie, chili mix type thing. I don't really know, just made up the name, but got some diced tomatoes, some black beans, kidney beans, red onion, capsicum, a few different herbs and spices. We'll cook it all up in the skillet on the fire, and then we'll have some chips and avocado with it. This that I'm using to cook on the fire is a Uniflame skillet. It works well on the fire anyway. I got it from Drifter. Should only take 15 minutes or so. Cut up the red onion first. Red onion in. Some red capsicum. Put some oil in there and then we'll chuck it on the fire. Softened up those veggies a bit. We'll start adding some herbs and spices. Got some garlic, a little bit of cinnamon, some cumin, some oregano. Add the beans in. This is meant to be 5-bean chili mix, but I didn't have any chili in. I just had some random herbs and spices, so I'm just kind of making it up and hoping for the best. I'm gonna add a vegetable stock cube in. I don't know why, just because I had one and I figured add a bit of flavour. Add a little bit of water in. Tin of diced tomatoes. Let that simmer on the fire there behind me for a couple of minutes. I just added a bit extra of all the herbs and spices to add some more flavour, so I'll let them soak through and then it should be good to go. Got some tortilla chips. It's kind of a little bit like nachos, I guess, but it's more just a, don't know, bean mix, which is what nachos is, so don't know how to describe it differently. They're just different though. We've got the chips, avocado, and then we'll add the bean mix on the side. A big taste test. Tastes really good and it's a super quick dinner. Sit by the fire and enjoy it. Also, people have been complaining about my vegetarian dishes because they're upset that there's no meat in there. I've been ruining people's days. And a few people have been asking to see Dad's dinners instead, because he gets his own meat, catches his own fish and hunts his own meat and all that, but when we're camping he basically only eats veggies anyway, so I think they're going to be disappointed with his meals too.
Why does everyone care about that?
I don't know, upset people by eating vegetables.
Bloody Chris coming out again. You bloody ruined the track, mate. Remember that guy?
Yeah, so this is Dad's dinner.
Yeah, it's fish and chips without the fish.
Yeah. Chips in a frying pan.
Yeah.
So just vegetables only.
Yeah.
So that's
sure
not
enough.
that's not going to make them any more happy than my dinners. And then got some broccoli over here too.
Yeah.
Because you eat meat, but not when we're camping.
No, I'm just happy to eat straight up vegetables.
So either way, those people are just going to have to be upset about it, I guess. Ruining lives out here.
But like, there's no actual reason to be angry. Like, it's not like they're actually going to eat the food.
Well, yeah, they're not eating it.
Like if they want to follow our recipe, they just literally add meat in.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. You can cook any of these meals and just add meat in instead.
I'm gonna be alright. I've been caught in time. I want you to know that I love you so. My friend, the skies are bright. I see orange light. I want you to know that I love you so.
Such a good spot here. Sun comes in the morning. You got heaps of bird life. It's so green out here as well. Making up a few pancakes for breakfast. Just in the process of packing up camp now. With that fire pit, so obviously you had the fire in the fire pit there. I'll normally just tip it in a pre-existing fire pit on the ground somewhere and then get a bucket of water and put it out, and then that fire pit only needs maybe 10ish minutes or so to cool down enough and I can put it in the canopy. Another thing that Dad's just started doing, which someone recommended to me on Instagram, I think it was one time, I forget who it was, but we always had this problem of getting moisture under our mattresses, and they said put a big towel under your mattress of a night and it will absorb all the moisture up, and Dad started doing it and you said it works really well, didn't you?
And work it does, yeah.
So when you lift it up, you got the towel in under there.
Instead of mucking around for half an hour trying to dry your swag out and holding up the trip, you pull out the towel and throw it in the back of your truck and everything's dry in there. Saturday one time a stripper went right through where your body lays.
So that's all nice and dry. The towel's a bit damp, you can just hang that out somewhere to dry and pack your swag straight up. I need to start doing that on my rooftop tent as well. I might start putting a towel under the mattress because I have the same problem where I have to pull the mattress out every 2 or 3 days to dry the bottom of it out because it gets moisture caught under there. That's the problem you can see there on the underside of mine, all that moisture. Camp's all packed up. Time for a quick swim in the river before we head off. First track of the day, only a few hundred meters from camp. You're always a bit nervous on that first track of the day when it starts off a little bit hectic. Now this one's got some tight ruts to navigate up through here. Problem, that mud there makes it a little bit slippery. It's slippery and then it's maxing out flex and everything. It's all just too much for it. So I'm gonna try to go up this way. Side, I'm just going to back out of here because that's a winch already. Now we'll have to winch that up, and then Dad's walked up ahead and said there's a bit of tree clearing and stuff up ahead to do as well, so we're just going to go try another track. That's the second time I've tried that track now, and the second time it's beaten me. Alright, bailed off that track. Could have winched up that bit and kept going, but I don't know, I didn't want to start the track off winching. I wanted to come do this one, which is one of the ones we were keen to do in the area this time, which is Jerusalem Creek Trail or something, out behind the waterfall, because I've never done it before and I've heard it's a bit of fun. So I've started this now. We come to the first section, which is just a heap of mud holes all over the place. I'm thinking this one because the other ones are just like bottomless pits. I think this one because that one's about a foot deep and feels hardish, whereas they're just like, I've come to say in front of me, it's just pure slush. Got him. Set him up. Set him up. Give it a bit of... And do a bit of... stop there. Stop, stop, stop. No, if you go any more forward, you're going to fall in that hole, then I'd say you're going to be stuck. I think you need to go back a foot and then try go left. Can you just crawl back a bit? Keep going, keep going. Can you back up? Nah. I thought we set you up there.
Oh yeah, you done well. You're after a payback for this weekend, you got it in one hit.
I think I set him up there and got him stuck. We're gonna have to winch him out now. There's not many trees around. I'm gonna try and pull a car length off that tree right in front to see if they can get the front up, then he can drive the back out. We'll start with that anyway.
Yeah, go hard left.
Alright, well after I had Dad be the test dummy for that one, I'm going to try sneak right around the edge of this different hole, but I don't know how well this is going to go for me either, but I'll give it a go anyway. Had to set Dad off in front so I can get past him at some stage on this track. It's a bit tight through all here. It's got a straddle here now through another rutted section. We'll try and avoid just ploughing into mud as much as we can. Mud hole over the water mound. Don't go through the middle one. That is just insane. But the right hand one looks not too bad. Mud on the side of Dad's car from that bog hole earlier. More mud holes. Not really a way around this one, and that one's a bit soft in there, so I have to power it through that. I'll just floor this one a bit, I reckon. Second gear, the rear locker in. Bit of mud out here on this track.
It's like an African adventure.
Deep in the jungle in the mud. Look at my car here, just thick in the vines. You got half the jungle here on your car.
Is my roof rack still on?
Well, it's a rhino one, so who knows. This track doesn't look like it's been driven in a while. It's an awesome spot out here. It's like you're just thick in the jungle. There's a lot of leaf litter all over the ground. There's just nothing but mud hole after mud hole after mud hole. And we're just avoiding the deep ones and sort of taking the easier tracks around them. had to floor it through that one. I managed to back up out of it, then hit it with a bit more speed, and then we're up through this one. We're gonna have very muddy cars at the end of today. Can't really hit a lot of these mud holes slowly. A lot of them you got to power. And that's what happened with that one. I just started off a bit too slow and had to floor it through it. Should have gone through that one, Kai. There's some full-on mud holes out here. Did that all easy.
It did. That automatic was working for it a bit.
There against the auto, lighter car, a bit more momentum.
Yeah.
Better driver. Got another mud hole here with no way around this one. They're honestly so deceiving. It's so hard to tell whether you need to punch it or whether you can crawl a little bit. I just can't work it out at each one. I'm gonna give this a little bit of power. Second gear low with the rear locker in. Pump that throttle controller up a bit. I've been sort of adjusting that as I go when I need that power. It just gives you that quicker response when you're in there and you need to punch it. Nice easy mud hole, but that's what I mean. You just can't work it out. Is it going to be a soft slush pit or is it going to be not too bad? Even checking it with a stick, I still can't quite determine it. Another soft, muddy section. There's nothing to do except keep smashing it through this jungle and mud holes. Have a hell of a fun time doing it. This is not the track or place you want to be.
I agree.
If you don't, I agree in total. I was gonna say if you don't like pinstripe and bush damage to your car, because the amount of sticks and branches and leaves and everything they've just been flogging our cars is insane. It's so enclosed through all of this. You're just really out in like the thick jungle and rainforest here. It's crazy. That one caught me out by surprise there, coming over that mound. I just had to floor it through that slosh, but I saw Dad got a bit caught out there. Looks like he's wrapped around a vine too. So he's backing up and looks like he's having another go and trying to unattach himself from the jungle. It's like scenes of destruction on these cars, just covered in so much mud and vines and scratches. That was the last guy who did his track. That was what his car was that wrecked by the end of it. That's like not that old of a Trident, is it? If anyone's missing a Trident, it's at the top of Jerusalem Creek Trail. It's a relatively newish looking Trident. It's been burnt here. Bit of a shame. How's our cars? Look at them. It's that much mud and vines and scratches, and I'll show where we are on the map. So we're out in this section of Chichester State Forest. There's this section. We're sort of right up in here. We're actually in Barrington Tops National Park where we are now. We're just outside the State Forest. So that's where we are up in here. And as I've said, there's no way to actually connect up into Barrington Tops, unfortunately. We're on our way out of this track now. We've just been bashing our way through the bush. We've already been out of the car with the chainsaw 3 times now, clearing stuff. This is a bit of a bigger one. It looks like someone's cleared most of it. They've cut it there, they've put 2 cuts through it, and then I don't know, they've maybe chainsaws died or they run out of fuel, I don't know. They've given up at that point. There's not much for us to clear out of the way, but I thought I'd get some firewood because that's a really nice dead log. Get some firewood for tonight rather than waiting later till we're near camp. So we'll kill 2 birds with 1 stone here. Alright, cleared the track and got ourselves a heap of firewood for the next couple of nights. We'll stack it up in the cars. Came out of that track after lunch, back onto the main road for a bit, and then we've hooked onto another track again. It sort of winds us down into the valley and back up the other side again. There's just a maze of tracks out the Chichester State Forest everywhere. This is another overgrown one, but it's had heaps and heaps of stuff cleared off it, so that's obviously being kept open, and you can see there has been 4-wheel drives on it. It's an unreal drive through here, but once again, plenty of pinstriping. So the plan is to you're winding away along the edge of all the mountains here, and then we're going to drop down into the valley to the creeks, and then from there we'll head back up the other side, and we'll sort of come back out near the campsites again. So it'll just be like one massive loop today out through all the mountains and tracks and everything. It's coming up 4 o'clock now, so we may have to camp trackside somewhere tonight, or yeah, we'll see how we go for time. Made it down to the bottom of the valley in this beautiful creek here. So I have been here before. I've never come in that way, but I've been in this way. I've sort of come down that side of the creek, and then there's a heap of steep climbs up out of that way. We've got to work out what we're going to do. I may even have a freshen up in there from the day. We're just checking underneath the cars after all that bush smashing and bashing through everything today, which we always try and do, and spotted under Dad's the fuel tank. There's 2 brackets that hold the fuel tank on it front and back, and the back one seems to have been torn out of where it's held in on the chassis. I don't think anything's broken, it's just torn out of it, meaning the fuel tank's obviously only half-ish held on now. The back's kind of dipped down a bit where that bracket's out, so we're gonna have to try and figure out a way to push it back up on. There it is there, that bracket on the tank. And there's that spot in the chassis it's meant to be that it's unclipped out of, but it's very hard. I've tried to push it back up in there, but trying to push the weight of that bracket against the weight of a 3/4 full fuel tank and everything is not working very well. So we're trying to set up a bit of a lever here where Dad can lever the fuel tank and bracket up while I try and get it in place, but don't know how we're going to go. We need more, if you can give more. So I'm only like 5 mil off that hole now.
Right. Looking good?
Yeah, keep going. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Keep going if you can. How much more can you do? We're probably still 15 mil off or something. We couldn't quite get it up in there, unfortunately. We just didn't really have the levers and the height and everything we needed. We were so close, only a few mil off sort of bending that bracket back into that clip area it's meant to be. I don't think we're going to be able to do it, but we'll have to do it when we get home from this trip properly. It's not really a massive deal, but because where we are now, we can head up out that way and there's not too much forward driving. It's a bit of a forward drive track, but nothing too hard. And then you hit the main fire trail, and Dad's heading home from this trip tomorrow anyway, so probably easiest just to leave it and he can fix it up when he gets home rather than trying to stress and break things and do it out here now. And it's about 5 o'clock, so we're thinking we'll just set up camp here. We got a little dirt patch where the roads meet, so we'll set the vehicles up and then have a fire and chairs in the middle, and then we got the creek down there for water as well. This will be a nice camp spot here though, and it'll save us sort of trying to rush out of here in the dark, and with Dad's car there we want to be a little bit careful with it, and we can ease our way out of here in the morning. Gonna cook creamy pasta for dinner tonight. The problem is my girlfriend Demi told me how to cook it and what to get. I got the ingredients, but since I've been shopping I forget which ingredients are actually for this dinner and how I'm meant to cook it. I know I got mushrooms, spring onions, fettuccine and thickened creamed for it. Other than those 4 ingredients I don't know what else goes in it, but I feel like it should have other things, but I just don't know what they are. So boiling up some water now, I'm going to cook the fettuccine in there, and then while that's cooking in the frying pan, I'll do up the mushrooms, spring onion, do up the sauce of them and see how that goes. While that pasta's cooking, I'm going to dice up the veggies here. So dice up these spring onions, cut these mushrooms up into 4, put some butter in there. Pasta's done, so I've pulled that off, and now I'm going to fry up these veggies. I'll put a bit of garlic herb in there too. Soften those veggies up a bit. I'm going to tip this cream in now, and then I do remember this step. Demi said to not like drain the water out of the pasta, kind of scoop it out so it's got a bit of water with it too, and then it's not all clumped together, and it helps it mix around and create that nice sauce. Got that pasta in, mix it around, add a bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, and then we've hopefully got creamy pasta. I just don't know if I did it properly or if I remembered all the ingredients. Yeah, it tastes pretty good. Feels like it's maybe missing something. Alright, there you go, creamy pasta. Let me know what you reckon. Alright, we'll sit down by the fire and enjoy this dinner.
We did our best, couldn't have done better. I think we should be proud, but you held me down when I was living out. Back here, never together, so I'll stand up and walk out and make my way on for now.
Pretty wet out here this morning. Just packed up camp. Gonna try and make our way out of here now. The rain started after we had dinner and we were sitting around camp last night there. It sort of came in light sprinkling and then just seemed to pick up as the night went on. It's quite heavy this morning, but it's really nice out here in the rainforest. In the rain, sitting under the awning, enjoying it all. Obviously you have to pack up in the wet, which is always a little bit painful, but not too bad. You have to be a bit careful camping down in valleys like this in the rain, well, when it does come in raining, because depending on what the tracks are like up out of here. We're going this way, which we're hoping we can get through. There's no big trees across or anything, because this way is not too steep at all. It's a relatively flat drive up out of here, but a couple of the other ways are very steep and they'd be very, very slippery, and I don't think you'd get up them today. So you do just have to be mindful of your way out of these places. Chichester is an amazing place in my opinion, because it's a beautiful rainforest bush mountain area, but so much of it is still accessible. So many of the tracks are open, they're not gated off, and they're kept open by four-wheel drivers. Because if it wasn't for four-wheel drivers, they'd just be overgrown and closed and not accessible a long time ago. And you get a fair bit of motorbike use out here too, which helps a bit. It's definitely a place worth coming, exploring and checking out if you haven't been. Lots of nice creeks and river systems out here. Anyways, I'm not 100% sure what the plan is today yet, just to get up out of here, up onto the main road, and then Dad's heading home, and I don't know what kind I'm gonna do yet. We've got to work it out. I might try and get some reception to see what this weather's gonna be doing the next couple of days. I think it's only raining today, but I'd like to sort of check it out a bit and work out a plan. All cleared. Hopefully there's no more. Nice little creek crossing here where we can wash off some of the mud from underneath these cars, go through a little bit of speed and help clean all of the mud off the bearings and brakes and everything else before we head out of here. Dad did it not too bad there. I don't know if it's that lighter weight maybe, but yeah, still hectic. So I just added a few extra herbs. And another thing that Dad's just started doing, which someone recommended to me, I think I said this track doesn't, not there. It's pretty wet out here this morning. We're all packed up camp. Time to head up out. It's pretty wet out here this morning. Just packed up camp, try and... which will give me that bit of thought, which will give me that nice thought. Never gonna get... Yeah.